Hi friends, Rusty here with you on this late Monday afternoon. I hope you've been having a great day. Wanted to come on for several different reasons. We do have some active weather developing in Central Florida as we speak, but we are in store for a pretty active forecast for the next several days. So there's going to be multiple rounds of at least some showers and storms, but from time to time, some of these storms could pulse up and become strong to severe. We have one of those right now in East Central Polk County. So on this Friday or Monday afternoon, again, we're live. Great to see you here at Central Florida Weather Live. Thank you so much for tuning in. You have a specific question about the forecast, you can always drop it in the comments section. But I want to break down what's been happening here over the last 6 hours. We have our main line of storms still in the panhandle in the north central part of the state. Ahead of that, we have seen a flare-up of some showers and storms develop here in Central Florida. They become a little bit more numerous in nature late on this Monday afternoon, and they're beginning to ramp up in intensity at least a little bit as well. You can see that they really lined up across I-75, and they're working their way off towards the east. So let me put this into pause mode right now, and I want to talk about the one storm that has prompted the severe thunderstorm warning. This is going to be for the east central portions of Polk County. It goes until 5:45, so not much longer here, just the next 5 minutes. But this is a very intense storm that just moved over places like Dundee and Waverly and Lake Wales. It's moving off towards the north and to the east. It is producing winds of up to 60 miles an hour and the potential for some ping pong ball sized hail. That's a really rough storm right now on the east central sides of Polk County. And again, this is all moving off to the north and the east, and you can see here, if you see that white right there, that is an indication on my weather computer here and our live radar analysis from Central Florida Weather Live of some hail. That is a very high hail signature in the core of that thunderstorm. And if we look at what's been happening with this system over the last 45 minutes or so, you see the timeline on the top left-hand side of your screen. There was certainly some potential hail across Winter Haven and Lake Wales, but this storm has really ramped up, and it's not going to shock me if this prompts an additional severe thunderstorm warning from the National Weather Service since it expires in just 4 minutes. This would then be pushing into Osceola County. There's the Turnpike, that is 91, but that is a very, very potentially intense hailstorm. Now we can also query this, and again, I have all the access to the storm cell data and the tracking data, and we'll be going through all of that as well. But for this particular storm, it's moving off towards the east at 26 miles an hour, very high max DBZ, meaning reflectivity is very high with this. The hail detection, 90% chance that there's some hail. Right now, at least on the leading edge of this, it's not saying it's severe hail, but I think once the algorithm picks up that newest scan right there, it's going to talk about a little bit more in the way of some intense hail. Now, again, this is going to be moving off to the north and to the east here. So again, I can time this down to literally the second here based on the speed. Again, moving to the east at 26 miles an hour. So I do have it crossing the Turnpike here in Osceola County right around 6:06 p.m. or just over 23 minutes. Still going to be going through mainly rural areas of Osceola County here. But again, certainly an opportunity that we'll have to watch for if this storm can hold together. And what does it do as it tries to head towards, let's say, 192 here. But again, certainly a very, very intense storm here, and I'll be monitoring it because this severe thunderstorm warning does expire in the next 2 minutes. But that's a rowdy storm there in the east central sides of Polk County. So let's talk about other storms that are in play right now. Again, it's a little bit more spotty as far as any intense storms go for the remainder of the area here. I'm going to take this loop and actually just drop it down here. Give me 1 second. It's just like the last 2 hours because that's really when things flared up. And again, you can follow that storm that developed in Lakeland and then prompted a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings over Haines County, or excuse me, Haines City, and then is almost kind of drifting off to the south and to the east. But the propagation of all these storms is west to east. It's obviously a very wet drive home. Some of the intensity has come down a little bit here, but I do want to talk about our friends in the attractions area right now. There's a nice cell that is moving over Lake Buena Vista. It's beginning to end, but it's been very wet at the attractions. If you know anyone who's been at the attractions, hopefully they've gone inside here. here. This is drifting off across the northern sides of Kissimmee and the 192 area towards Oak Ridge and Pine Castle and Conway and OIA. Not a lot of lightning with this. Again, top of your screen, you're seeing our live lightning data. That is in real time for us here. So again, we've had a few strikes with that stronger storm in Polk County. As far as this one goes, it's mainly just some showers. It's trying to rain itself out a little bit right now for our friends in Winter Park and the Lockhart area and Maitland. Again, just good rain across I-4. I'm sure it's slowing things down a bit for us here. And this all continues to move up to the north and to the east as well here. So again, tracking these showers moving in from I-75, they're going to cross I-4 and they are going to try and work their way to the coastline. Now again, some of them are losing some of that intensity. You can see that. So we may not have as much rain, at least with this initial batch across I-95, but there is a lot more to come. This is almost kind of the primer, if you will, before we have the potential for multiple rounds of more intense storms. Now, again, at any one point in time, as we get these waves of energy coming out of the southeast and the Gulf of Mexico, we could prompt a severe thunderstorm warning or two, but it might even be a little bit more concentrated in portions of central Florida here as we get into, let's say, the later part of tonight, and then another couple of rounds are possible all the way through Wednesday morning. I wanted to get back on this storm and see if we can get the newest information on this. I have a tablet right here which allows me to check out everything. So I'm going to go back to the National Weather Service here, and again, it does look like we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning. It just expired, so I'll have to wait and see if they decide to reissue that one. Go back over here and see real quick. Let's see here. Bring that on. So at this point in time, I'm surprised they didn't reissue it here, but they might. They might just be cycling it up, taking a look at things. So again, right now, as of 5:46, that's a extremely solid hail core there. And again, still 90% chance of hail as this is going to be moving into the western sides of Osceola County. There is some lightning ahead of this. So again, the Turnpike in 192, and then eventually maybe even the western sides of Brevard County could be impacted by this storm. It's a relatively large hail core. I got to be honest, that's a very impressive signature on my radar to be showing that. So again, the Weather Service was even talking about ping pong ball sized hail potentially coming out of that particular cell. And some of those storms even go as far south as Avon Park. Additional rain back towards the Winter Haven area. And again, decent showers right now. I'm sure it's slowing up things across 192 and I-4 and the 27 interchange and the 417 interchange down there, with some spotty rain near OIA at this point in time. And again, this all kind of just trickles its way off towards the east. Additional showers are developing with a couple of potential lightning strikes here or there. Here's one right now over Lake Pan, going to be moving up north and east towards Coleman and Wildwood, the Turnpike I-75 interchange. Again, no hail, or if there's any hail with this, it would be very, very small pea-sized hail. No rotation out of this. And again, moving up to the north and to the east right now at around 21 miles an hour. Additional showers up towards the Bellevue area right now. Nothing that's extremely heavy. Let me expand this view out here, and I'm going to actually switch over to the NextRad site out of the Jacksonville area. It's going to give us a good idea of what is still to come. So this kind of what's been happening in the here and now here. But when I bring on the radar from Jacksonville, and hopefully that'll pop on here in just 1 second. There you go. You can see all of this energy that is still in the east, the northeastern sides of the state, the eastern panhandle, if you will, the Big Bend area. Certainly more lightning strikes up there as well. And again, all of this is going to try and push its way south and east during the remainder of the evening hours as well. Sorry about that. Lost my mouse for a second. It slipped away. But you get the idea that there's more energy coming down with this as well. And again, if you have a specific question about the forecast, drop in the comments section below. Just wanted to come on and discuss what's happening right now, because you might be getting some rain and storms, but also what could be coming our way later tonight. And there's an opportunity I might jump back on later tonight to track what could be even stronger storms. And that might just be one of several waves I anticipate between now and Wednesday morning across all of Central Florida here. It's going to be pretty darn widespread. So let me get back over to the composite reflectivity here, and I'm going to put this back into motion. And so you can now kind of see what I'm talking about. We've had our first wave of heavy showers and storms here, and it looks like they have reissued that severe thunderstorm warning, which I fully expected. But look at all of this lightning right here. Look at that big ball of lightning there in the East Gulf of Mexico. That is going to be driving inland as we go through the evening. And even some of the storms that are across Big Bend towards Perry and across City right now, all of that is going to want to dive off to the south and to the east. So we're in store for at least the opportunity for a bit more in the way of some severe weather. As a matter of fact here, when I show you the potential from the Storm Prediction Center, we are under a marginal risk here through most of Central Florida. We have a slight risk in the yellows there to our north and to the west, but that's just day one. The opportunity, again, for some of those storms, and you can see that one here in Osceola County. I'll get back to that one in just a second, but notice that, again, it's a pretty widespread severe weather opportunity, at least on the lower end here. That's just in day one. When I take a look at what's going to be happening for tomorrow, you get the same situation. This energy is going to be basically draped across I-10. It's going to provide a fairly good chance for some severe storms across the I-10 corridor, but some of that will push off towards the south, and especially the northern half of Central Florida will be under, again, a marginal risk for severe storms. So that includes St. Augustine and Palm Coast, Daytona Beach, and Astor, and it certainly could even drop south of Orlando, but Groveland, Leesburg, and places like Claremont and Ocala and Crystal River, Homosassa Springs, and then down the coastline, a little bit farther south and west down the coastline, including most of Pinellas County, the northwest sides of Hillsborough County, then portions and most of Pasco, Hernando, Citrus counties. That's for tomorrow. And then even on Wednesday here, when we go to day 3 from the Storm Prediction Center, it goes even farther off towards the south. So again, multiple potential rounds of strong to severe storms here between now and at least noon on Wednesday. So it is going to be pretty active here across Central Florida. Kelly says, just joined. Will this mess be coming to the Central Florida area? Hi, Kelly. First of all, thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate you very much. Secondly, yeah, I'm getting into it right now. Multiple rounds of storms here, some of those strong to severe. We're almost kind of getting the preview out of what's happening right now, but certainly, as you can see from what the Storm Prediction Center was just showing, multiple rounds of energy coming from the eastern Gulf of Mexico here. I did want to get back over to this now again severe storm as I expected in the west and southwest sides of Osceola County. It does look like, if you notice the last couple of loops, the hail core is actually diving down a little bit south into the east. So, you know, maybe even places like Point Siena might have to concern themselves with this. Let me actually, now that the Weather Service has issued that warning, I can go back and we can take a look at it here. So the severe thunderstorm warning goes until 6:15, and as you would imagine, Lake Kissimmee is going to be impacted by this. Again, they've dropped the hail down to quarter size, which is about that inch size hail you see from my weather computer here. But that is a nasty, nasty storm that's going to be moving through the Lake Kissimmee area. So if you know anyone who lives in that area, give them a good heads up and let them know that's a really beefy storm with some good hail that's going to be moving across Lake Kissimmee. It's then going to be tracking across the Turnpike and 441. Generally in rural areas, though, that's good news. And I hope that this hail core continues to lose some strength and it fizzles out before it crosses the Turnpike. But again, if you live or know anyone who lives in the Lake Kissimmee area, that storm is going to be impacting you guys as it moves off to the east here at about 20 miles an hour. 60-mile-an-hour winds, by the way, are also possible with that particular storm. So it's a brutal one. It's a pretty nasty one there. Again, heavier rain through portions of Kissimmee right now. Not a lot of lightning. You can see our live lightning data. And then again, up the I-4 corridor, we'll get some rain in Volusia County. But again, I do expect it to be lighter. Generally speaking, like I said, this is kind of the preview before this big chunk of energy works its way into the area. Now, one of the things that I want to show you here and how this is going to play out is I'm going to take the radar off, and then I'm going to take all all of the other stuff here as well. Might take just 1 second to get rid of absolutely everything here because I have a lot of layers on. So let's see, I think I got it all off here basically. All right, so we're looking at a blank map, which is great. I'm going to put on the HER model. It's the high resolution rapid refresh model. This is a fantastic model. It updates hourly. I love to use it in what's called the mesoscale. I love to use it in the short term. So I want to break down what the model is showing here between now and Wednesday morning. So now you see the model timeline on the left-hand side of your screen. So this is going to take just a brief second to fully loop up, and then I'm going to kind of break it down for you hour by hour. But the bottom line and why I'm showing you this and why I'm popping on right now is I wanted to get you prepared for what I expect over the next couple of days for us here. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hi, Linda. Hi, Eileen. I hear you. What about the Space Coast? What about Orlando? I got you covered. I promise you. I'm going to get through this model, and then we're going to talk about your forecasts, and I'm going to break that down for you. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for hitting the like button if you're here as well. So again, here we are at 5 o'clock, if you will. So just an hour ago. So watch these storms move off towards the east. Now, they might again fade a bit. So Linda was talking about the Space Coast. What I anticipate is that strong storm, that severe storm that's in southwest Osceola County right now should lose some of its punch. Now, we'll probably drive some rain along the Space Coast here over the next hour or two, but generally speaking, it kind of fades. But we still could get some rain in Brevard County and portions of Indian River County. But I want you to look up to our north here as we get into the evening hours. This is the next batch of energy coming in, and here comes another round of potentially strong to severe storms, and this could come in after midnight. We had that a few nights ago where Orlando had a severe thunderstorm warning at around 2:15 in the morning. We could see another round of overnight strong to potentially severe storms rake its way across Central Florida. Now, the main threat is going to be wind, but there is a hail threat potentially as well. Hopefully not the big hail that they're seeing in portions of Polk and Osceola counties right now, but that's the case. It will then quiet down, and then another round of storms is expected to come in potentially as early as mid-morning tomorrow, but then a nice core of storms ramping up again early to mid-afternoon on our Tuesday. And you can see that blow through the area. It quiets down, another shot of energy, and all of this is just impulses of energy coming from the eastern Gulf of Mexico, shoving these storms across their area. Look at the storms tomorrow evening, and if they line up like this around 9 o'clock, I have no doubt I'll be on tracking these for you, because if they can line up like this, you're going to have some wind threats along that leading edge, and potentially even some hail threats as well. Again, this is tomorrow night at 9 o'clock on our model. But again, this is a very high resolution model, updates hourly, takes a lot of things. I use it all the time. It's a fantastic model. Again, I said we're not done. Here's Wednesday morning. Again, wee hours of the morning, another round of potentially heavier, strong storms coming back in. And then as we get into the early afternoon hours of Wednesday, I do expect us to finally push the bulk of this energy off towards the south. But you get the idea that we could potentially be in store for 3 to 4 more rounds of showers and storms. Doesn't mean you're going to get severe weather, but it is certainly more active than what it has been in a very, very long time. So that's what the model is showing between now and on our Wednesday morning. Okay, so let's get back over to all the fancy spancy radars that we got here. I'm going to bring back on the radar. This one's going to be out of Jacksonville, and then I'm going to switch back over to the Melbourne radar here. And again, I have access to all of the NextRad radar sites. I have access to all the real-time data. We have live lightning strikes here across Central Florida, which is going to be great to be able to talk about in real time as well. These storms could be, quite active here as well. So here is the radar out of Melbourne. I took it off, so let me put back on the severe thunderstorm warning. And again, there was a severe thunderstorm watch, and there still is up in the Panhandle. That's that purple that you see. Okay, let me get back to the questions here. Kelly says, just wanted to say congratulations on the channel. Glad to be able to get local weather from you again. Kelly, I can't tell you how excited I am to be back as well. Really missed everyone. Again, Central Florida is my home. I'm happy to be on with you guys, helping to build this channel. I really, really appreciate those who are tuning in right now. Again, we're just getting started. We're just ramping up. If you know anyone who lives in Central Florida and you think would get a use out of this, and again, you know, the bottom line is there's no show times on YouTube. I can go for as long as I want and I can come on when I want to. And I think that's important because we know how Central Florida's weather is. It's very, very crazy, right? These storms can fire up in the morning, the afternoon, the evening, the overnight, just like I showed you between now and Wednesday morning. So the opportunity to come on and just talk as long as we need to is something that I always wanted to do, and the interaction as well, you know, to be able to talk to you guys in real time. I have a tablet right here just off screen, but I can see the chat. And so it's great to talk with you guys. So let me get back into it. Linda asked for tornadoes. So the threat is extremely low. It's not zero, but it's extremely low for any tornadic activity with this. This is mainly going to be straight line winds up to 60 miles an hour, and maybe even some ping pong ball sized hail. That's what they had out of this severe thunderstorm near the Haines City area, portions of Polk County earlier. If you're just tuning in, this is a severe thunderstorm right now, and this is in effect for the western sides of Osceola County, including the Lake Kissimmee area. It does go until, I believe, let's see here again, it does go until 6:15. I'm trying to loop back up my radar here. Hopefully it'll cooperate and let me do so. Oh, you know what? I have the Melbourne radar on, so it's not going to let me loop. Never mind. That's fine. So again, another great thing, and something that I tried to do with this weathering computer, is I tried to make it as clear as possible as I could by getting down to the second, if I could, in certain situations. Here's my point, all right? When you're tuning in, time, I mentioned it expires, it doesn't matter. If you look right here, severe thunderstorm warning expires in 14 minutes. You know exactly to the minute how long this severe thunderstorm warning is going to last. It's going to show you the winds. It's going to show you the potential hail size. So all of that is in real time, and they just cut off a little bit of that as well. Again, it's all updating in real time. The reds are really high rain and reflectivity, where we see the purples and the blues and the whites flashing. That's high enough that it's pinging some hail. So that we have a little hail core right now going over portions of Lake Kissimmee. I hope the hail size is coming down because, again, farther north and west, we had some ping pong ball sized hail out of that as well. Okay, Kelly says severe weather gay. Yeah, I get it. We're getting to that time of the year. You know, we're not in the quote unquote wet season as of yet, but we're going to start to see more active patterns here, and we are going to get those sea breeze storms developing pretty much each and every afternoon soon. Haven't been able to flip the switch on the wet season as of yet, but again, it's going to start to turn that way. Now, my grass was getting a little bit crunchy, so I don't mind the rain, but obviously with the opportunity for some stronger to severe storms, that always is, you know, part of the deal as well. See, Linda says, yeah, I hate those. I agree with that. Let's see here. So Eileen mentioned Orlando, and I want to just talk about the forecast here. First of all, in the short term, we've had some showers move across Orange County. I'm going to switch back over to the composite view because I can loop this just a little bit easier for us here. So let me bring this back on. There it is. Let me get rid of that. And I should be able to hopefully loop this up now. Might take a second to pick back up here, but give me just 1 second. Let's see. Does not seem to be cooperating and wanting to loop. That's okay. I'm going to do this real fast. Stick with me. You're going to see that come up in a second here. I'm just basically resetting my computer. From time to time, I go back and forth between all the different radar sites. Every so often, just like a good computer, a good reboot is actually in the offing, and it helps a little bit, to be quite honest. So let's see here. I also just want to make sure I don't make the timeline too long. 2 hours sounds good. Okay, perfect. So again, you're going to see these storms now pop up. Now, I still have our tracking cells, and you notice that some of those have faded away, that means the core of the storms are beginning to diminish as well. So that's good news. If I, let me take those off for us here real quickly as well. So I'm going to remove those just so it's a little bit clearer to see. So Eileen mentioned Orlando. Well, we've had some spotty rain move across the area, a little downpour towards Winter Park. Heaviest rain right now is right across the 417, okay? Just south of the airport there, south JYP, south OBT, northern sides of Kissimmee, getting some showers across 192. All this is moving north into the east. It is waning a bit as it pushes east of I-4. So I don't expect this initial batch to become severe, okay? We basically had the far southern storm, and they're a little bit stronger down here. You can clearly see that, and this one is actually diving south and east. All right, so I have to watch that. I don't know if it's gonna get as far to the east as Yeehaw Junction before hopefully it rains itself out. But again, we've had some heavier rain. It's been wet for the drive home. The biggest concern is still what's to come. Now, showers are already redeveloping up in Marion County and portions of northern Sumter and portions of Lake County. And again, I would imagine most of you are happy with getting the rain, right? I mean, it's been relatively dry in most spots. So places like Leesburg and Fruitland Park and Lady Lake and Wildwood and Bushnell, all with some good showers over the last couple of hours. It will dry out a bit. We're not going to have as much rain, at least with this first batch here across I-95. But again, expanding this view, you can get an idea of the nasty, gnarly weather that is still to potentially come. So two reasons why I'm on right now. First is I wanted to track that severe storm that was moving into Osceola County from Polk County. That one was important to get on and talk about. Secondly, I wanted to just let everyone know that the rain that you got this afternoon is basically the preview of what could be more widespread showers and potentially strong to severe storms. Another round coming in late tonight and overnight, and then multiple additional rounds are possible during the day tomorrow and into Wednesday morning as well. It's just going to be a much more active pattern here across Central Florida. Hi, Linda. Will I be covering hurricane season? Absolutely. Absolutely. So anything that could impact us here in Central Florida, I will be covering. Yes. And if, you know, again, this is my channel. I can come on live when I want to, when I need to, for as long as I need to. And that's a fantastic thing. I don't have to worry about show schedules. I don't have to worry about anything else. So yes, when there are potential tropical systems moving in, we'll be doing that. And even when the channel is not on, we're trying to set up where we stream the information even when I'm not live. Okay, where you can get literally up-to-date information here from the weather system that we have. So there's an opportunity, of course, you know, because this channel can be on 24/7, if you will, to do that. I'll have much more on that coming up as we get into hurricane season, especially when one threatens us here in Central Florida. And we'll talk about some of the things that we're going to offer with that. But yes, I will certainly be covering hurricane season here in Central Florida. Again, you guys might end up getting a little bit sick of me how much you might end up seeing me between now and November, because, you know, when days like this crop up, I'm going to at least be popping on from time to time, if not for a prolonged time, just simply based on, you know, what I see out there and how concerned I am with what's evolving. Again, I do want to get back over here because that's a nasty storm right over Lake Kissimmee, and you can see that. And I also want you to notice that the algorithm has picked back up and said, look, actually now it's producing, oops, sorry about that, it's producing 1¼ inch size hail. So it's actually upped the size of that hail. Again, Lake Kissimmee could be impacted, and certainly communities around Lake Kissimmee. Otherwise, I hope it gets into some rural areas and dies out before it crosses the turnpike. And 91, by the way, is the turnpike. There's 441. We don't want this core getting over those areas for more populated areas, and certainly for any drivers in those areas as well. But if you do know someone who lives around Lake Kissimmee, or might actually be taking 441 or the turnpike in southern Osceola County within the next, let's say, hour, you might want to just give them a heads up that that's a gnarly storm with some big hail. That's quarter golf ball to ping pong ball size, at least on the maximum end. It's a gnarly storm indeed. Heavy rain continues for portions of Polk County and Haines City, our friends in Winter Haven there, Lake Wales. Again, decent little shower right over the the 441 area towards Kissimmee and Celebration. There's Lake Buena Vista. The most intense part of that rain has now drifted away from the attractions. So that's good news. I mean, because the attractions actually had a good burst of rain right there at around, let's say, 5:15 to 5:30. If you're looking for your timeline, it's on the top left-hand side of your screen. That was a good little shower there. Again, not a lot of lightning with this. Let me actually put the lightning back on. So that's good news. Hasn't been a ton of lightning strikes. And again, we just added this feature to Central Florida Weather Live, your live lightning data in real time. Those lightning strikes will pop on. You can see those there. Those are all in real time. It'll show the last 15 minutes. And the number that you see is the amount of lightning strikes in my view, whatever view I'm showing you, over the last 15 minutes. This is just a really intense core right here. That's a lot of lightning there in the east central Gulf of Mexico, and that's the energy that's going to be moving in. Hi again, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you. If you are here, I can't thank you enough. First of all, do me a big favor and hit the like button. You will see the thumbs up button on this live stream. And if you could do that, that helps out the channel. Doesn't, don't have to do anything else. Just click that like button and that'll help out. If for some reason you're not a subscriber here to Central Florida Weather Live, and again, you're looking for your latest real-time, up-to-date weather information across Central Florida, this is your home for you. Again, this is a live-only channel, meaning that I'm only going to be on when something's really happening. So I always suggest that if you are a subscriber to the channel, have the notifications on and you'll get an update that says when I'm live. And I'm only going to be live when something that you need to know about is important, so you can jump on and check it out. And again, maybe it's one of these streams where whatever is heading your way is something you really are impacted by and you want to stick around for an hour or two. Maybe you jump on for 5 or 10 minutes and you see that the threat has passed by your area and you can have a quiet rest of your evening. I am very aware that you all live in different places, so I always try and kind of break that down. For our western areas right now, it is relatively quieter. There's going to be some rain and storms up in Marion County, from Sumter County south, all right in the present time. Hefty storms down in Polk and portions of southern sides of Osceola County. Right now, Brevard County is okay, but I'll be watching that storm getting a little bit closer to you. I do expect it to continue to dive south and east, and that's where the newest severe thunderstorm warning is here. And again, this thing kind of has a mind of its own. It's out by itself. It's a nasty storm, and now it's diving to the south and to the east. So you see that. Hopefully the hail core stays west of the turnpike and west of our friends here in Yeehaw Junction. Again, if there's a little bit of a saving grace, we're in relatively rural areas of Osceola County because that storm is quite beefy. And then again, what's going to be happening later on tonight is another round of storms that'll be coming in. If you'd like to support the channel in another way, if you look in your description, you can see those ways. If you would like to say thanks or support the channel, you can certainly do that, and we appreciate any of that as well. But I'm just very happy to be back on with you guys here in Central Florida and talking about these storms again. So for this point in time, again, Osceola County is the main concern. That's a nasty storm. That is a real nasty storm. I'm gonna take a look at it here in a couple different ways. Let me pause this. I'm going to get it to real time. I'm going to bring back on the radar out of Melbourne. All right, so there you go. So again, what I love about this weather computer, and it's going to be very simple for you guys, and you'll get more and more used to the display and how easy it is to read. So even if I'm not particularly mentioning something, you guys can clearly see it. We have one severe thunderstorm warning that expires in 2 minutes. They have reissued it for this red polygon for an additional 30 minutes. So it expires in 32 minutes. It's the same threats. Winds are 60 miles an hour, hail up to 1.25 inches in size. That's pushing golf ball, pushing ping pong ball sized hail. So in 2 minutes, that polygon will go away and this polygon will take over. But again, even if I'm not implicitly talking about it, it should be quite simple. And again, there's been one lightning strike in the last 15 minutes within this view. So I can also, again, I take a look at these icons, by the way, and basically what that is it's almost a cheat sheet for me to be able to look at what the radar is picking up as the most intense part of these storms, okay? So we look at this one. This one is saying, Rusty, we got hail. There's a 50% chance it's severe, and it could be up to 1.75 inches. That is extremely large, dangerous hail within this storm, which is why, again, I hope that this is going to stay in rural areas. And if I mention again, we can time this down to the second. It is literally counting down to the 10th of a second. Now that's ridiculous. Okay, we don't need a 10th of a second, but I'm not going to change it because I think it's kind of cool, don't you? And by the way, again, if you're looking for a general current conditions in your area, that's what's scrolling in the bottom of your screen. Those are real-time updates from the reporting stations in those cities, and those are going to be flipping through as well. So you get that. So again, I almost want to stay on this shot so you can see and get an idea of what happens here on the system that I use. So it's going to literally count down, and it's going to say that this severe thunderstorm warning is done, and then this one is going to take over. And basically the Weather Service extended it for 30 minutes. So that one's done. It falls off, and here's your new warning. And again, the idea is this storm is now moving more to the south. Now, this here tries to push it a little bit more east, at least part of the core. So what it looks like is if this were to work its way across the turnpike, it would be at about 7:09 or in about 54 minutes. But I hope the strongest part of that hail core drifts south and just stays in some pretty darn rural areas. It's the best that we can do and really the best that we can hope for. It's a decent little cell that has continued to hold together here over the southeast sides of the city towards Lake Nona and Narcoossee and places like that as it continues to move off towards the east. So again, be watching that situation there, but pretty hefty rain right now across the 414 and portions of the beach line as well as it continues to work its way off basically to the north and to the east. But again, could be a little bit in the way of some heavier rain there. Otherwise, we're seeing a few more showers ramp back up in portions of Marion County. Okay, so I'm going to get off in just a minute, but before I do that, either if you're watching live or you are going to be watching this, because again, it will save as a video and you can go back and watch it at any point in time. It just won't be live. I want to again show the model and what I anticipate to be happening here and the reason why I kind of jumped on at least for a brief second. So let me again get rid of everything else and come back up here. I'm gonna have to get rid of the watches and the warnings as well. All right. A lot of behind the scenes stuff. Let's see here. That should do that, I hope. Not really sure why those icons are still on. So plenty of things to learn, and I love it because this system absolutely shows everything. We might have to stick with these icons. I'm not too worried about that. It is what it is. But again, before I got off, I wanted to get back over to our model and show you how this looks to try and play out. So I'm going to loop this back up. Get rid of the watch here if nothing else. So again, why I'm on is that this is going to be a pretty active pattern over the next few days here in Central Florida. We're going to have this one round of storms coming through right now. I'm going to let this loop up one more time, and then we're going to take it step by step. So the opportunity as this wave moves off south and east, Brevard County, Indian River County, as we get into late tonight, potentially after midnight, but maybe for Citrus County, Levy County, Hernando County, maybe 10, 11 p.m., another round of storms coming in. Now, the latest update is that it does weaken it as it gets towards Metro Orlando. That would be good, but don't be shocked. If you live in Orlando or Sanford or Altamont Springs or Deltona or Leesburg, if a rumble of thunder wakes you up in the wee morning hours here, the opportunity for at least a strong storm is out there with this next wave coming in. It dies out, but quicker tomorrow, we get another round of storms coming in. And again, it's the same opportunity, strong to severe storms, wind gusts of 60 miles an hour, maybe some inch plus size hail within some of the cores. You can see that driving through the late morning hours of your Tuesday and into Tuesday afternoon. So I'll be monitoring that It then pushes off the East Coast, and another round, another kick of energy could come in tomorrow night, right around sunset. Again, if these can line up like this, that could be a lot of wind being produced across I-4 right around 8 to 9 o'clock at night. They then push off towards the east, and yet again into Wednesday morning, storms will be coming back in. So just get ready for a more active pattern here in Central Florida. Multiple rounds of strong to severe storms are possible. Obviously, some of the rain is very beneficial. We could use that, but it's certainly been it is a much more active pattern than what we've had in quite some time. So I wanted to pop on and talk about the storms that are happening right now, but also give you guys a heads up that you should be prepared for additional storms in your area between now and at least midday Wednesday. Again, if you have an opportunity to make sure you subscribe to the channel and have the notifications on, you'll know when I'm live. Yeah, Linda, that system is a nasty one. Absolutely. A lot of energy coming out of the Gulf of Mexico. It happens this time of the year when the parent low holds back and it just kicks rounds of energy across our peninsula. And that's exactly what we're going to see. And it's multiple days worth of these stronger severe storms. Eileen, you're absolutely welcome. I'm absolutely glad to help you guys out, and really looking forward to continue doing this with you guys as well. So I'm going to jump off for right now. Real quickly before I do, let's see here. I'm going to dump the model, and I just want to bring back on again this storm down here, because it's a bad one. Once again, if you're just tuning in, a severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for southwest Osceola County, but I hope it stays in rural areas, because there's some large hail out of that one, friends. Otherwise, a few more storms ramping up over portions of Polk County, and some light rain for the southeast sides of Orlando towards Lake Nona and Medical City and Narcoossee, and a few more showers developing up in Marion County. But it will lull or relax over the next couple of hours, and then late tonight and especially overnight, the next round will be coming in. Friends, what I can tell you is this, is that whenever these storms crop up, and it's pertinent to, I'll be back on here, Central Florida Live, Weather Live, to keep you updated, to keep you ahead of what I expect to be coming through. But again, pretty active forecast between now and midday on Wednesday. Until I see you next time, thank you so much again for tuning in. Thank you for liking the live stream here. Again, that helps out the channel. And if you're not a subscriber, thank you so much for subscribing. Great to see you, friends. I'll see you soon.